What's up, guys? It's me, Joe, with the INC, the man with no mental strains, but I stick out like Kurt Angle's temple veins, and I'm here once again to recap UFC Fight Night, Holm versus Vieira, and hold on, I need my notes. And a Holly Holm main event in 2022. Interesting. Anyways, let's get to the fights. So, main event, Holly Holm and Ketlen Vieira. This gag would be a lot better if I still drank alcohol. This fight just wasn't very good. First round, some kicks. Then Vieira drives Holm to the cage. Clinch for the rest of the round against the cage. Second round, something exciting actually happened. Holm looks to clinch up after some stray shots from both girls, and Vieira just slings her with a hip toss. It was pretty awesome. Holm scrambles back to her feet, tries to go for a single of her own, but nearly gets caught in a rear naked choke and nearly goes out. It reminded me of Jan Blachowicz versus Devin Clark years back. This is easily a Ketlen Vieira round. Round 3, just a lot of kiaing from Holly Holm, which at this point is starting to mentally drain me. And her chaos did have some moments, like she would throw like 4 shots, and one of them would land, but then she would eat a big counter from Ketlen Vieira, who's just kind of throwing like these, they're honestly arm punches, but they're heavy arm punches back at her. Holly stalls against the cage for like 2 minutes, then they break up. More chaos, more fence stalling. Ketlen did land less shots, but they were more impactful, as I think they were hurting Holm. I guess. I don't know. I guess I lean towards Holm that round. Ban chaos, because in round 4, my brain, I feel like I'm lucky my brain didn't start bleeding from all the chaos. Holm was throwing just all these punches, trying to get clinches, but the punches really weren't doing much. She did get a knockdown from a sidekick while Vieira was off balance, or like her stance was shifted. And that's impressive. Yeah, but I don't know if it was significant enough to give her the round, as Holm was constantly having her chaos muted, I guess would be the term to use, by Vieira's just counters the whole round. Round 5, a lot more chaos. And counters, chaos and counters. Sounds like a song. It's a song of the fight. Not a very good one. It wouldn't be on the billboard. But then they would clinch on the cage for like a random 30 seconds at a time, with Holm controlling it. And for the most part, though, she is getting tagged on the feet, it feels like, with these heavy arm punches. She did land like 3 head kicks in a row at one point, but they were like kind of skimming. It was like 2 snap kicks up the middle, like touch, like one like left roundhouse kick that went like, oh, skim my nose, whoa. They just didn't have any oomph on them. And I don't know, I guess I give Holly this round, but if she wins this round, she wins the fight for my scorecards, and that just sounds awful. So I'm going to give Vieira the round, just because, I don't know. I guess I'll give it to her, because, I mean, looking at the whole round, because I watched this round 3 times for you people, just to try and score it correctly. That's torture. That's not as bad as the Rosa Esparza fight, but I guess I give it to Vieira. Whatever. For the future, I think give Vieira Rocky Pennington in a number 1 contenders match, as Rocky has a pretty good streak going on, and Vieira has the bigger names on her streak, so why not toss them together? I mean, we're going to have this weird logjam with Nunes and Pena for a minute, so why not toss those 2 together to make a real, like, serious contender just sitting there ready and waiting, I want the division to move along, but I don't know if this win was good enough for me to be like, oh, you deserve a title shot now. I don't know. This doesn't feel good enough. And for Holm, I don't know. Just don't give her main events anymore. It's 2022, and she has gotten so much off of her KO of Ronda. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. And if the UFC feels obligated to give her a main event, then just make it 3 rounds. That's my proposal. Let's go back to giving it 3-round main events for her. Only her. Um, yeah, it wasn't a good fight. Pereira versus Ponzinibbio should have been the main event, though, because this fight was insane. Big fan of both these dudes. It's a welterweight matchup, and Ponzinibbio is a boy of mine. And this is how uninterested I was in a Holly Holm main event, that one of my boys was fighting on this card against another guy I really like, and I just didn't even know till the day of. First round was great. Pereira is, just kind of working these really slick stance shifts. He would throw like a jab into a right hand, and then after the right hand, which is his rear hand, he would switch stances and then throw like a snap kick up the middle and would switch stances after the snap kick. Just blended perfectly. And he would alternate the legs. So like sometimes it's a left snap kick with the rear leg, then it's a rear leg with the rear leg right kick up the middle. It was great stuff. And I liked his game plan, which was to circle the cage and wait for these opportunities for Ponzinibbio to just kind of like overstep his punch, because he kind of wants to like get in there, but he's a little afraid of eating these counters. So kind of like just throw the punch a little too far out and kind of leave himself a little too open, kind of similar to how he got knocked out by Li Jilang, and then Pereira would just blitz him. And Pereira did seem like to have like a brief knockdown, maybe just like a slip at one point. But Ponzinibbio did have some really cool flashes of just awesomeness in this fight, or in the first round. He threw like a triple jab on a retreating Pereira, and then faked the right hand to land a huge leaping left hook behind the guard. Great stuff, but it was a clear Pereira round. Round two, crazy pace from Pereira. It's like he smells blood or something in the water as he gets just much more aggressive, just out of the gate. Great body kicks, and then some vicious body kicks and some great boxing combinations. I had my adjectives flipped. Slowly though, Ponzinibbio's coming alive. And like near like the last half of the round, I'd say like around like 2 minutes left, he starts landing some pretty good left hooks and cuts Pereira open with them. He does get a takedown near the end of the round, but he doesn't really do anything with it. Like Pereira kind of gets back up to his feet, like just kind of stalling a little bit. And despite the momentum was clearly at the end of the round in Ponzinibbio's favor, I do have to say like a majority of the round was Pereira. So I'm tentatively going to give Pereira the second round. Round three is the wow round. For like the first minute, it's all Pereira, who has like a second win. Just snap kicks up the middle, some entering with boxing combinations and landing a good like body kicks. But then he starts getting kind of gassed, and they just start all like letting it hang out. Pereira is plodding forward, trying to get something going with shots. And Ponzinibbio still has energy, so he's like jabbing off and landing bombs back at him. Just like the cliche, who wants this more, came out with a minute left. Usually it's saved for like the last 10 seconds. It was insane. They were just blasting each other, constantly throwing. Fantastic round that I have to give to Ponzinibbio, but I give the whole fight to Pereira. Interesting thing, very misleading graphic came out while they were waiting for the judges' scorecards. They showed total head strikes round by round for each fighter, and that seems really misleading to me, like some propaganda stuff, as Pereira was crashing the body with snap kicks, good punches to the body. Even in the third round when he was really tired, he was throwing a lot to the body, and even some good low kicks at times, as well as Ponzinibbio, who was landing great low kicks. I don't know why they toss that up there. Just show total strikes. It would have really sold the like, you guys missed a brawl if you like missed the fight and came in at that moment, because it was a brawl. So in the future, I think I heard Pereira say he wanted Masvidal. That sounds like a blast of fun. We all know Masvidal ain't like top 5 anymore. Why not? Then we had a pretty sweet knockout at middleweight as Chidi Njokuani took on Dusko Todorovic. Butchering that last name, I'm just going to keep calling him Dusko because I like the guy. He's kind of fun. Early on, Dusko goes for a takedown. Nearly gets caught with the Darce choke because Njokuani defends the takedown super well, but he's patient. He waits and he escapes it and does a good job of getting Njokuani down to the feet, or down on his back. Njokuani's really good at getting back up to his feet, and he's defending like Dusko's like attempts to kind of drag him down at multiple points, and it was pretty good stuff. like pretty okay. We're seeing some interesting developments because the Njokuani's, he's the younger brother of Anthony Njokuani, fought in the UFC and WEC way back in the day. I always think of them as strikers. So seeing like someone to go a grappling attack against them, it's always kind of interesting to see how they handle it. And he did a great job. I was impressed. They get back up to their feet. Njokuani does a good job of escaping, and he ducks a left hook from Dusko, gets a clinch, like almost like a single collar underhook, and just starts blasting knees to the midsection. It was awesome. And to kind of take away the space of this, Dusko turns his back to kind of like take away the space, because you need space to throw knees, let's be real, and kind of force a grappling exchange again, which is smart. Really like it. But they're kind of going back and forth in the clinch now, and then out of nowhere, Chitty just lands a crazy right elbow out. Just clean out. Great KO, and honestly, he's racked up some pretty good finishes lately. He might be worth having the prospect tag, like a serious prospect tag at middleweight. And finally, we have Chase Hooper. Chase Hooper gets a win. I love me some Chase Hooper. And I know people rag on him for saying, like, he doesn't deserve to be in the UFC. But the guy has won fights in the UFC at a super young age. He's 23 years old. That's insane. And he's like 3-2 in the UFC. That's fantastic. The dude's fantastic. That's mad impressive to me. Just 23 years old and you're 5 fights in the UFC. And he's just going to get better. He trains with great people. Say what you want about Ben Askren. He's one of the best wrestlers ever. Training with him, smart. That's his dad. Like, his dad's Ben Askren. Come on, he's going to have great wrestling eventually. And he trains with Wonder Boy with karate and striking, which is smart. He's a long, lanky build. Why not learn some long, lanky kicks that Wonder Boy knows how to throw really well? Why not? And this fight was mostly just Hooper dominating him with grappling, just super aggressive control and trying to get some submissions and getting some like really dominant spots at times. Colares did get some dominant spots at times, but like for not very long. It was just kind of like the Hooper show until the 3rd round where he gets full mount and just rains bombs on him, gets a stoppage win. Good job, Chase. I'm really proud of you. He's just got so much charisma. How do you not love his personality, right? But that's really it for me. No fights next week, so if you really miss me, be sure to follow me on Twitter, as I constantly seem to embarrass myself with random tweets. Or, better yet, why don't you go check out my retro review on the main channel, where I covered the legendary Khabib Conor card. Did a review of it. It's fantastic, and I have another one coming down the pipe. So, now it's going to be insane. Anyways, this was Joe with the INC. Thank you for watching.